So, today we're chatting with Catriona Doherty, a celebrant and solemniser based here in Inishowen, about the unique and personal ceremonies she creates. Catriona, for those who don't know you personally, can you introduce yourself and explain what your role is as a celebrant and solemniser?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Catriona. I am from Catriona here in Inishowen, and I'm a celebrant. So I write and deliver personalised ceremonies for all of life's milestones. So everything from weddings to vow renewals, elopements, baby namings. I'm also a trained funeral celebrant, although that's something really it's not popular here in Inishowen. I don't know if that'll change when the crematorium opens in Letterkenny, but we'll see what happens. But by far my most popular type of ceremony is a wedding. And you mentioned that I was a solemniser, so that basically means I can conduct legally binding weddings across the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland.
Great there. And tell me, what led you to become a celebrant? Was there a personal experience or moment that inspired you to take this path?
Well, my background's in teaching, so that's where the public speaking side of things come in, and I was a journalist for the past 12 years. So with the journalism, I just loved chatting to people, hearing their stories, and then capturing the essence of who they were in words. So I suppose Celebrancy is very much like that. So for me, it was kind of the natural next step in my career. I was looking for something new, and Celebrancy provided that. I just love it. I love what I do.
I can see you're really passionate about your work. So, Catriona, you offer more than just weddings. Can you tell us about the different types of ceremonies that you conduct, like baby naming, vow renewals and more?
Yeah, so the vow renewals are popular with couples who maybe they're celebrating a happy time, like they're 10 years married or 25 years married. For others, they've overcome a period of adversity, like perhaps there was grief or a period of ill health, and they just want to take a moment for them. And I think life can get so busy sometimes. It's a really lovely thing to do, just to take a moment and reflect on your journey so far as a couple and look to the future. The baby namings are popular with couples who, they've decided not to have a christening for whatever reason, and they want to have a ceremony to mark the arrival of their gorgeous new baby. And it's also a time to appoint the guide parents. So with the christening, you'll have the godparents, and with the baby naming, you'll have the guide parents who will be there throughout your child's life to support them. So it really is a lovely, special day as well. I also do elopements. So elopements are when couples from another country will come over here to Donegal and all over Ireland actually to get married, and I just really love them, and I can't wait to see more couples coming, especially from America. I have a few coming already, and I can't wait to see more coming over here to Inishowen to get married.
That's brilliant there. And can you tell me, how do you help couples and families create a ceremony that's personal and meaningful to them? Can you walk us through the process from start to finish?
Yeah, so within each ceremony you have a set structure. So say, for example, your wedding, you have your opening welcome, your poems and readings, the vow exchange, ring exchange. But within that, there's so much scope for personalisation. So say with the readings, for example, I have 20 pages of readings, but still the couple might choose one that's not on the list and it's personal to them. They can also bring in a loved one, someone they want to include in their ceremony. There's various other ways you can personalise your ceremony to make it your own. There's just so many options. I could talk about it all day.
And what kind of flexibility does a celebrant-led ceremony offer compared to more traditional routes?
Well, I suppose in terms of flexibility, you can choose whatever music you want. You can have whatever you want. If you don't want any readings, you can leave them out. If you have, say, 4 kids and you want to include your 4 kids, you can choose that number of readings. There's just so much really in terms of flexibility. It's written for the couple is the other thing. So I work with the couple and hear their ideas for their ceremony, and then I work with them to write it up. So it's not templated, it's written for them, which gives great flexibility, obviously.
And have you noticed any trends in what people are looking for in ceremonies lately? Are they becoming more personalised, more relaxed, or maybe even more themed?
I just think every couple I speak to, they want something different. So I wouldn't say there's a common theme. I think if you look at weddings in general, you'll see themes, the champagne tower, the types of dresses. But within ceremonies, I can't say I see any themes, but I do see that the couples often will say to me, we just want to include our loved ones. We want our loved ones to have a great time. We want it to be relaxed. Yeah, you will hear that, the couples saying that.
And is there a particular ceremony or moment that has stayed with you over this first year of your business, something that really touched you?
I think every ceremony touches me in some way, because you really do get to know the individuals you're dealing with. So For the last few ceremonies I've done, on Friday we had a ceremony on Fannet Head, and the wind was blowing a gale, and I had the vows printed in a little white card. It just blew out of my hand and flew away, and the groom ran and stamped on it. So there was like a big dirty footprint, but that's what they read from, and the bride was like, "Oh, that vow card's a keeper for sure," and they were just laughing. You know, that was one memory. Another wedding I did, the groom's family members had hearing loss, and he got an interpreter in, and I remember after I pronounced them husband and wife, I looked around and everyone was clapping, but his family members were, you know, doing the wave like this, and they just looked so happy, and I loved how inclusive their ceremony was. So I could go on and on and on, but I'll stop.
Okay. And do you think people fully understand the role of a celebrant, or the common misconceptions out there about what you do and the industry?
I think it's probably confusing if you go to get married, because there's so many different types of people who can marry you. You know, you'll hear celebrant, solemniser, registrar. But I just think if you do a little bit of research, you'll find out who's the best person for you.
That's great to hear there. And your wedding ceremonies, are they legally binding or not? Coming from a layperson's point of view, I don't really know much about this industry.
Yes, they are legally binding. I'm on the HSE's Register of Solemnisers, which means I do conduct legally binding weddings. Some people choose not to have a legally binding wedding. Like, say, for example, you are coming from abroad and you've done the paperwork in your own country. So they have what's called a symbolic wedding, but for all intents and purposes, it's a real wedding, you know.
That's great. And what advice would you give to someone planning a non-traditional ceremony but not sure where to start?
Okay, I think start with your venue. So once you choose the date and choose your venue, ask the venue, do they have a list of recommended suppliers? And they should be able to give you, hopefully, the names of a few celebrants, and then you can look them up, reach out to them and see if they're available on your date. If they are available on your date, maybe arrange a no obligation call, because I just think your ceremony is so important. It sets the tone for your day, so you really do need somebody that you can put your trust in and that you, I guess, get along with, and you can see them delivering the ceremony that you want.
That's great. And Inishowen is such a beautiful location where we live. How does the landscape and local culture influence the ceremonies that you create here for people?
Well, we're here today on Ballyliffin Beach, and actually I think people often choose Inishowen because of memories or ties. Like, I have a couple getting married just up the road there in the Ballyliffin Lodge, and the groom used to come here as a child playing football with his aunts and uncles. He's from Derry, so for him that's why he chose the lodge, and I've written that into the script. So I think people do choose the local hotels and venues here for a reason, so I often try and include that in the script. And the other thing is, I think Inishowen is so gorgeous that I really would love to see more couples coming here to elope from abroad, and that's something I'm hoping to promote now when I get my website up and running.
And that ties in nicely with my next question. You probably answered a lot of it. Is what you love most about working in this part of Donegal in particular?
I think what I love most is probably the support. So the local community will be very quick to like and share my posts on social media, maybe give me a recommendation. Maybe they don't need a celebrant themselves, but if they hear of anybody who needs one, they're happy to pass on my name. So I've found it very supportive. You know, I'm a year in business now, and I feel like it's going as well as it is because of that local community support.
And finally, Catriona, how have you found the Inishowen Guide for supporting your business and promoting local Inishowen businesses like yourself?
Well, for me, it's been fantastic. It wasn't just I signed up and I had one, you know, the Inishowen Guide shared one post. Like, I've had repeated posts shared, and I remember you posted a statistic within the first month. There was something like 120,000 views on your website. So I thought, wow, that's some coverage. You know, it's really good. I know you're approaching a couple of thousand followers on Facebook. So for me, it's been really good to get the word out there. And for me, like, as a celebrant, I don't have really repeat customers. You know, if you're getting married, you're probably going to get married once. So for me, it's really good just to get the word out there, especially as a new business in my first year.
And Catriona, finally, thank you so much for joining us and telling us about your business. And if you'd like to learn more about her work and what she does, check out the links below in the description here. Catriona, any few last words from yourself?
If you're looking for Celebrant, give me a shout. My TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, it's all Catriona Doherty Celebrant, and hopefully we'll work together soon.